Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of our bullet journaling for our mental well-being. And today I'm really excited to show you several different things. And this is my favorite so far of this journey of using bullet journaling to get down our positive thoughts and understand ourselves better. And so I've gotten a few things ready. I've got a picture printing from my Canon miniature print thing, and I'll show you some other things if you don't have one of those. And of course, anything I use that I can find links to, I will link below. And so that's going. I have my travel watercolor kit. And I'm showing you my travel one because sometimes we need to just catch beautiful things as we see them. So I'm gonna go through and just wake up all of these colors with some water, get them going. So these are watercolors, and I really do like this kit. It's a Winsor Newton Cotman watercolors. Now Cotman, that's usually it's a very good student grade. So Cotman generally is not a professional grade, but that's okay because when we're catching images quickly, that's okay. We can just use what we've got, you know. And so I'm just going to wake these up, and these do have a lot of good pigment. So there you go. Okay, so I'm going to just set those aside until we get to that part. So today's lesson, today's challenge is to capture beauty. And that's what I'm going to title my page here. And I'm just going to use my gray marker here. And I'm going to title my page, Capture Beauty. So, a lot of times, if we've gone through some hard times and we're struggling, it's important to just start recognizing the wonderful things around you. That we sometimes, living with difficulties for long periods of time, we become kind of pessimistic. And I have found one way to help counteract that is to just find the beauty around you. And so that's what our goal is today, is to go through and find the beauty in simple things. And in this particular one, I'm talking about beauty in nature, not beauty that man has created, beauty that you can find all around you, just in the world. And so one of the things that struck me, and if you've seen my other video about how much snow we've had clear into May, you've seen that Ann and I did a Looking for Beauty video, and I will go ahead and link that up above. And it was such a great time just looking for what was pretty. This was one of those times when our tulips were blooming and there's snow all around them. And that's actually a really good reminder for me. And then I sent that picture to my Canon IV Easy Print. And now this comes with a adhesive backing, so I'm just going to take that off and stick it right in my book, okay? And that's just a way for me to capture that moment and say, I recognize in that moment that this was beautiful. And that was on May 9th. So, you know, that's a fun thing to remember. Now, if you don't have the Canon Easy Print, you of course can go ahead and just send your pictures to print out on your home computer. Now, I really like having both of these available because when I'm traveling, I don't have my home computer, and so I use the Canon Easy Print. And I'm finding out that for mental well-being, peace of mind, that looking for and seeing and documenting or capturing the beauty frequently, every day, really does make a difference to your mental state. So I'm going to decide, I've got two pictures here. One of them, I think I'm going to do this one. I don't know if you can see it. That little deer right in the middle of the picture. It reminded me of a special time where we used to live. We would get deer in our backyard, eating in our garden so often, and I've missed that. But I remember that and the beauty of that. So I'm just sticking that in. So you can always, putting in a picture helps capture the beauty. And so you either use the mini printer or just print it on your computer. Now, another thing that I can't put into a bullet journal is beautiful things that you see, and you can actually record those on your phone and then create a montage and share those with others of the beauty you've seen. And then what you can do is go ahead and make a list. So I'm actually going to show you 5 ways to capture the beauty around you in your bullet journal. And so I really like this pencil a lot. Okay, so I'm going to write down 5 things that I have seen, and I'm going to shoot for today, and so I'm going to not necessarily finish the list right this second, but I'm going to get it started, and then I'm going to try really hard to finish that list before the end of the day. So one of the things that I saw this morning that was just beautiful were these rolling clouds, and the sky is blue, and the clouds look like storm clouds, but they're rolling, and we've had some high winds, and so but it was so pretty just to look out and see that. Now, I could put on this list, of course, every one of my children and my husband, but these are things that we are looking for that we might not have recognized that we see as beautiful before we do. So I'm going to finish that list there. So there's one way is printing off with a Canon Easy Print. Number 2, printing on your home computer. Number 3 is making a list. And number 4, I'm super excited about to show you. So this is watercolor paper, and I'm going to tear this apart. Generally with watercolor paper, you don't generally cut it with a paper trimmer. So, and I don't know if that's just being, a watercolor snob, but I had a teacher several years ago who told me, don't ever cut your watercolor paper. It's designed to be torn apart like this, or you use a palette knife. I don't know if it really matters, but what I'm trying to do is get a piece of watercolor paper that's just the right size for my bullet journal. Okay, there we go. And so there's a way to do it. Fold it back and forth, and then you can tear all those apart. And I'm going to go ahead and tear these so that I'm ready for future days in my journal of things I might want to record in watercolor. So then I just have some ready and available. Okay, so today, peeking up through the snow, I saw some pansies. And just as a note, I love this little travel watercolor kit, but I'm not wild about the brush, so I often bring a brush with me, and I really ought to cut it down so it'll fit, but I'm not too worried about that right now. Okay, so I want to do these pansies. And now I'm going to just tell you straight up, I am not a great watercolorist. I like to do it. I spend time doing it, but I'm not fabulous at it. So this first pansy I'm going to do in yellows, and I'm actually going to just go through and make a little bit of almost like a heart shape with one color and then the other, and then fill in. And I'm just going to keep going around. I want a little bit of a lighter yellow next. So let me just point out that you don't really have to be a fabulous artist to enjoy watercolor. I mean, I love it, but I would never put myself in the category of being a great watercolor artist. And if I practice more, I'll get there. But right now, I'm just not too worried about it. Too much other stuff going on that kind of is making me crazy, I think. Okay. So we just get our basic little shape down there. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of a darker thing because these pansies, they have this funny little middle thing. And I'm fine with a little bit of the white showing through. So they've got just a little middle darker spot. And then I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I do any more with it. And then another thing that I saw that I just think is beautiful, we actually see these a lot in the summer, and I'm gonna take this brown and just kind of tone it down here a little bit, and then come back in with that darker. Okay, and I don't have a black, I see, on here, and that's okay. So I'm going to, I'll do the artwork, and you see if you are gonna guess what it is. Not a flower this time. And I'm just looking at a picture so that I can sort of get this so it works. I love this red here. And I'm gonna just give it a little bit of a mix up here and then a little bit of that darker color. So I have dabbled in watercolor for a lot of years. And the truth is, I do love it. Okay, now I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna sweep this out and back in and then bring that up to here. So once this dries, I can go into that next one without it running over. I wonder if you can tell what it is I'm making. And I need to let that set for just a minute. Okay. Bring this in and up and around. So this is one of my favorite things in the summer or spring to be able to see. So I don't know if my artwork is good enough, but that's what we're going for. Now, before I can finish this now, I'm going to need to let that part dry. And so I'm going to go ahead and use a micron pen because it doesn't bleed through. And I'm just going to make some comments about what I think is beautiful. Pansy in the snow. I love that. And I hope you've been able to tell that this is a ladybug. And I'm going to put today's date on that too. It's Friday the 13th. Okay. All right. So I can make some comments, and this is going to go right in my book, right there, because this is one way to capture beauty. And we definitely want to do that. Okay, so now let's come back through and just drop in some dots on our ladybug. They're going to be different sizes. And now you can at least see that that's a ladybug. And then what I'm going to do is come back now to my pansy. Now, in this part, I'm going to go ahead and use my micron marker here, and you notice how it has made this little triangle color right in there. And then generally on a pansy, you just see some little black marks, kind of like this. There's usually kind of a teardrop shape in the middle, and just put some of those lines in here. There we go. I'm kind of liking that. Okay, now the one thing I'd like to do, I think, in here is just give at least this a little bit of a background. So I'm going to pick up some green here and maybe some blue. And I know when I'm doing a lot of watercolor, I use my professional grade watercolors, and I can tell that these Cotmans are just not as highly pigmented. It's a little bit of a different grade, I guess you'd call it. And so it's just, you just learn to work with it. And I'm not going to do anything too specific with these leaves. I'm just going to kind of give the idea of some leaves over here. I'm not going to be too precise or too picky about the shape of the leaf, and I'm just laying down some color here for the leaves. There we go. And then I'll come back in with something a little darker. And so now that the main part of the flower has dried, then I can come in really quite close to it. And let's just get some variation of color in there. There we go. That just gives a little bit of background to those leaves, to the flower. There we go. Just going to leave it at that. Maybe just bring a little, because the leaves are pretty much all around, and then the rest of this just kind of some, ooh, and I do like that yellow and blue kind of there together. So this is really just a suggestion. And here's one reason why I like these micron markers. I can go right over the top of that with water, and they never bleed. They don't smudge at all. So this is more like open air, something like that. Okay, so there's that. And other than doing some more details on the leaves, that's done. And so our ladybug, I'm going to come back in with that micron pen, and we need to get some legs in there. I'm going to just bring a couple of them here off of the head, the thorax, I guess is what you'd call it, wouldn't you, with the top here. There we go. And then the other two pair, got a little glitch there, a little leg, will come off of the abdomen of the ladybug. There we go. Okay, and let's see, do I like that? Yeah, I think that's fine. And okay, so when you look at it, you go, well, that's not perfect. Do I care that it's not perfect? No. Because I'm doing this as just a quick study to remind me of something beautiful that I have seen. Okay, there we go. All right, and then I'm going to glue that in right here. So I'm going to finish letting that dry, but I'm going to mark where this is so I know to not go above that line for my fifth way of capturing beauty. Make sure when you're finished with watercoloring that you wash out your brushes really well so that they last forever. Brushes are expensive, so we want to wash them out so they last and last. Now, one other thing, I wanted to show you a couple of things. One thing that you can incorporate into your journal is washi tape. And so I think this is pretty. And so I'm just going to run that right down the middle to just add beauty to my page. And that's just another way to capture beauty, is to actually put in your book things that you find that are small and flat and that you can collect to capture beauty. Not just pictures, but things like buttons and fabric swatches. Oh, there are all kinds of things you could put in here. So another way to capture beauty is to write about it, because not everybody is artistic. Not everybody wants to be. That so does not matter. So another way that we can capture beauty is to just write about it. And so I'm actually going to use the dots in my bullet journal, and I'm going to give myself some lines, and I'm skipping between lines so that I have a lot of room to write. And then I'm just going to use a pen. I want to write about the birds I heard chirping this morning. And so this is also a way to document the beauty in things that are not visual, like a beautiful song, something beautiful, somebody said a quote, and so you can just write about it. So I'm going to finish my Capture Beauty pages. I'm going to keep an eye out all day long for beautiful things that I can add to my list. I'm going to finish writing about the birds chirping this morning and how it reminded me of my time in Israel. In the morning, the birds were so loud. They always woke me up right around sunup, and I loved that, and that's what this reminded me of. So I'm going to make sure everything is in there. I'm going to finish the pages today. So the goal today for our mental well-being is to find beauty in nature. Not man-made beauty, but beauty in nature that has been given to you with no effort of your own. And just start to recognize that. If we can turn our thoughts more often to things that are beautiful and positive, it helps our mental outlook. Because remember, no matter what the issue, we have to work on our thinking and on ourselves. So there's 5 ways to capture beauty with photographs printed in 2 different ways, lists, artwork, and writing. And I hope that helped you and that you will have a wonderful day capturing beauty. If this has helped you in any way, please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel and join us for more suggestions for mental well-being, but also for crafts and organization and beekeeping and all kinds of things. And so I hope you have a wonderful day capturing beauty.